Part 9. Others, indeed, have apprehended the nature in question, but not adequately. In the first place, they allow that a thing may come to be without qualification from not being, accepting on this point the statement of Parmenides. Secondly, they think that if the substratum is one numerically, it must have also only a single potentiality, which is a very different thing. Now we distinguish matter and privation, and hold that one of these, namely the matter, is not being only in virtue of an attribute which it has, while the privation in its own nature is not being, and that the matter is nearly, in a sense, is substance, while the privation in no sense is. They, on the other hand, identify their great and small alike with not being, and that whether they are taken together as one or separately, their triad is therefore of quite a different kind from ours. For they got so far as to see that there must be some underlying nature, but they make it one, for even if one philosopher makes a dyad of it, which he calls great and small, the effect is the same, for he overlooked the other nature. For the one which persists is a joint cause with the form of what comes to be a mother, as it were. But the negative part of the contrariety may often seem, if you concentrate your attention on it as an evil agent, not to exist at all. For admitting with them that there is something divine, good, and desirable, we hold that there are two other principles, the one contrary to it, the other such as of its own nature to desire and yearn for it. But the consequence of their view is that the contrary desires its extinction. Yet the form cannot desire itself, for it is not defective, nor can the contrary desire it, for contraries are mutually destructive. The truth is that what desires the form is matter, as the female desires the male, and the ugly the beautiful. Only the ugly, or the female, not per se, but per accidens. The matter comes to be and ceases to be in one sense, while in another it does not. As that which contains the privation, it ceases to be in its own nature, for what ceases to be, the privation, is contained within it. But as potentiality, it does not cease to be in its own nature, but is necessarily outside the sphere of becoming and ceasing to be. For if it came to be, nothing must have existed as a primary substratum from which it should come and which should persist in it. But this is its own special nature, so that it will be before coming to be. For my definition of matter is just this, the primary substratum of each thing, from which it comes to be without qualification, and which persists in the result. And if it ceases to be, it will pass into that at the last, so it will have ceased to be before ceasing to be. The accurate determination of the first principle in respect of form, whether it is one or many, and what it is or what they are is the province of the primary type of science. So these questions may stand over till then. But of the natural, that is, perishable forms, we shall speak in the expositions which follow. The above, then, may be taken as sufficient to establish that there are principles, and what they are, and how many there are. Now, let us make a fresh start and proceed.